saying arigato to my boss would be more rude than saying nothing at all. We never use you in Japanese. Well, actually, we do. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, I want to introduce some rude Japanese phrases that you might be using without realizing it. Let's dive right in. Number 1. In Japanese, we don't often use the word you like in English. It can sound authoritative or unnatural in most cases. Instead, we use the person's name. For example, instead of asking, what do you think? あなたはどう思いますか? We say, what does Lily think? リリーさんはどう思いますか? Or, do you like coffee? あなたはコーヒーが好きですか? becomes, does Lily like coffee? リリーさんはコーヒーが好きですか? It's much more natural this way. A common question I hear is, what do you do if you don't know or forgot the person's name? Or what about you're referring to a stranger on the street? Well, in those situations, you don't have to say the name or subject in the sentence. For example, あなたは明日来ますか? Will you come tomorrow? Can simply be 明日来ますか? Will you come tomorrow? あなたの出身は? Where's your hometown? Can be 出身は? Hometown? あなたは英語が話せますか? Can you speak English? Can be 英語が話せますか? Speak English. So you see, it's not always necessary to use you explicitly. Now, you might be wondering, do Japanese people never use anata? That's not entirely true. There are a few situations where we do use it, although it's quite rare. One example is in documents or instructional sentences. Like in school essays, where they ask you, あなたは将来何になりたいですか? What do you want to become in the future? Or in surveys where they ask you, あなたは何歳で結婚したいですか? At what age do you want to get married? Another situation is within an intimate relationship. But even then, it's mostly used by married couples and it sounds slightly old-fashioned. Younger couples might use it jokingly, but it's more commonly heard among middle-aged to older couples. Lastly, authoritative figures such as the police might use anata when questioning someone. Like, あなたここで何してるんですか? What are you doing here? あなた名前は? What's your name? However, it's important to note that we don't use it with friends or acquaintances. So that's the key distinction here. Apart from anata, there are other words for you that you might have heard of in Japanese anime, such as kimi, or omae, or teme. These words can sound condescending and rude. While some people use omae casually with extremely close friends, it's best to avoid these phrases until you understand the nuance and feel confident using them. Context is crucial here. Now, let's talk about arigatō. Thank you. I mean, how can this phrase be rude? Well, this is actually one of the most common mistakes I hear from Japanese learners. Thank you in English is not the same as arigato in Japanese. In English, you can say thank you to anyone like your friends, parents, or even a stranger. But in Japanese, arigato is a very casual form of thank you. So I would never say arigato to a stranger, my teacher, or my boss. In fact, saying arigato to my boss would be more rude than saying nothing at all. That's how casual it is. Then, when do we use arigato? For example, you can use arigato with someone you speak to casually, like your friends. But when speaking to your boss, you should use arigatou gozaimasu in the polite dismiss form. They may sound similar, but they have very different levels of politeness. Alright, let's move on to another common mistake. The phrase wakarimasu is often misunderstood. When you say wakarimasu as a response, it means I know. So if you ask a question and someone responds and you say wakarimasu, it sounds like you're saying, yeah, I know that. Why are you even explaining it to me? Instead, if you want to say I got it or I understood, you should say wakarimashita. This indicates that you now understand something you didn't know before. So there you have it, some rude Japanese and common mistakes to avoid. Remember to be mindful of context and the level of politeness when using these expressions. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more language tips and cultural insights. Thank you so much for watching. ありがとうございます。